Hello everybody, welcome to Info Cluster. Today we are going to talk about data types in Python. So let's get started. As you can see on the screen are some data types I have introduced in my previous video. Today we will discuss in detail about those. So this is my hello.py file which I have been working on. So if you are watching my tutorial from the first episode, you might be familiar with this file. So let me delete the previous lines. So let's begin with strings. We already know the basics of strings, so let's skip the basics and explore them in detail. So let me create a string variable. So we have a string here, and let's see what all we can do with it. And I have mentioned that you might want to use one or the other quotation marks to define a string. And let me give you an example. Mhm. So I have a string here with some quotation marks within them. So Python is not allowing me to print this little string in between. So when we try to print that out, we get an error. So you can see we got an error just as we predicted. To avoid this error, we have to escape these quotation marks with some escape characters. So like this one. This is an escape character to escape out the double quotation marks. Now if we try to print this out, Python will not throw us an error. You can see here our code has been successfully executed. So let's see the other escape characters we have in Python. So just like the single quotation one, double quotation one, we have the single quotations, and these are also like the previous ones. They escape out the single quotation. In this case, we don't need to escape this out. It's because we are using double quotes to declare the string. So if you try to print this out, everything will be alright. So you can see here our code has been correctly executed. And so the next one is \\. So this one is mostly used when dealing with file path. Like for example, C:\/ user // desktop or something. So when we are dealing with file path like this, we have to use the \\, which is the escape character of \\, or we can use the /. So which is very easy. It is very easy to use. So let's just once check this out. You can see only one \\ has been printed out instead of the both. It's because we have escaped one out. So we have next this one. We have \n escape character, which is called the new line character. This is a very popular one. It is used to bring the characters after to it to the next line. Let's print that out. You can see here info cluster is in the next line. It's because we gave the new line character before and after it. So you can also do concatenations in Python, which I have already explained in my previous video. If you haven't watched it yet, go back and watch it. The link to my Python series playlist is in the description below. You could also check it out. Then if you want to get a character in at any position in a string, you can also do that. So if you want to get this m, which is at 1 2 3 4 uh, 2, 3, fourth character, then you just naturally count. But in Python it is a third character. Like it's because Python starts with 0 instead of 1, like we naturally count. In Python it goes like this: 0 1 2 and 3. So the m will be the third character. So if you want a specific index of an index character from an string, you just open up a square bracket and give the index in it. We need 3, I gave 3. So let's print it out. So you can see m has been printed out. That's what we wanted. So you can also return a range of characters by using the slice syntax. It is just like the previous syntax, but the only difference is you should specify the start index and the end index separated by a colon, like this. Like for example 8 or something. So this basically means that the third character to the eighth character. When we say a eighth character, the eighth character will be omitted and it will be printed till seventh character, like 3 4 5 6 7 8, and it will, when we try to print this out, it will be printed just till this. Let's try that out. You can see here, just we expected, there's an output. You can also use negative indexing for the string slicing, like -7 to -2. We can check that out, what happens. You can see UTU has been printed out. It's because the -7 is the seventh character from the last, and the -2 is the second character from the last, and this is the seventh character from the last, and this is the second character from the last, and therefore this has been printed out. So let's see what else can we do. There is a function called len, also known as the length of function, which is used to get the number of characters in a string. Let's also check it. We have the txt variable. Len must be called like this. So if we print this out, the number of characters in the string will be printed. Let's check. You can see there are 35 letters in our string. So the another useful function in Python is the replace method. Used to replace one or more characters of a string. You can imagine it like find and replace option in Notepad. So for example, let's create one more variable, txt2, and in this txt2 uh, we are going to, so basically we are going to define this txt2 with a replaced string. So this is the string we want to replace. Just we have to give a dot and replace. So this is the method I was talking about. In this replace function, we have to give two parameters. The first one is the part of the string we want to replace. In our case, I want this to be replaced. And the second parameter is we want that part to be replaced by what. And again, in my case, it's this one. And we are printing out txt2, and let's check if uh, it gets replaced. You can see instead of I am called info cluster, we got the output we are called info cluster. So that's the replace method. And here comes another function useful in changing the case of the string, the upper method. It's it's like calling the replace method with a just slight difference, upper. It's very simple. We just call the upper. Now if we check the output, you can see all the characters in our string is changed to the uppercase. So similarly, we also have the lower method. So let's also check that. And again, everything is changed to lowercase. Okay. So when are these upper and lower useful? So this can be used to check user inputs in if statements. Let's talk about that in the upcoming video. Now when we talk about checking user inputs, the strip function is also useful to remove the white spaces before and after the string. So for example, if I have a couple of white spaces before and after, I just have to call the strip function. So this means that we are stripping out the white spaces before and after our string. Let's print that out. So you can see here, even though we had some white spaces, it's been removed. So what happens if we don't give the strip method? Let's also see that. You can see here some spaces are added. It's because we gave some space here. So instead of that, if we have the strip method, we won't have that problem. So that's it for strings. Now let's move on to integers. So there's not much to talk about integers. So let's go through it very quickly. Integers are just fancy name for numbers, whole numbers, and you all know numbers. I think I talked about it in my previous video. Anyway, let's explore integers in detail now. Numbers in Python are of two types, integers and floats. The whole numbers are integers and floats are just decimal numbers. Like if you have, for example, I have a number whole number 44, and I have a decimal 24.78. So it's just a basic mathematics stuff. Let's print that out for our clarity. Whole number and print decimal. So if we print that out, it's just our normal integers are printed out just like our strings, and we can also perform some operations on integers like addition, subtraction, etc., which we do in math. Let's see one by one. So instead of printing this 2 times, let's add that whole number and float. Let's check what happens. You can see Python has done some addition and gave us the answer. So it's basically the 44 plus 24.78. So what else can we do? Just like addition, we can do subtraction, multiplication, and division. So if you want to see that, let's check that quickly. This is the subtraction stuff. Python has subtracted 44 and what 24.78, and there is another operation called modulus. It just gives the reminder when we divide that. So if we divide this directly like this, it just gives us the absolute quotient. So if in a case you want the remainder of the division, we can use the modulus operator. So this is the answer. So that's it for the integers too. Let's move on to booleans. So I also explained booleans in my previous video. So let's just see what can we do with booleans. So for example, we can do just printing some stuff. Let's delete the previous lines. Print 10 is greater than 9. I will just explain it. Ten is less than 9. So this is the basic comparison. Just in the first statement, we are just checking if 10 is greater than 9, which is true. So Python also returns true. So in the next step, we are checking if 10 is equal to 9. So 10 is not equal to 9. So that is also false. So the last line, if 10, we are checking 10 is less than 9. 10 is absolutely not less than 9. So it's obvious. The first statement is true. The next two are false. Anyway, let's check the output. You can see here, just as we expected, true, false, false. So we can also check this in strings, like hello is equal to hello. You can see this, both strings are same. So it is just gonna return true. So if this is looking confusing to you, Python has another feature. Hello. Instead of putting two equal to's, you have to note here that we gave two equal to's. When we give a single equal to, we are assigning. Here we are not assigning this string. We are just checking. So we have to give double equal to's. So instead of this double equal to's, we can give is. Is just the same as the double equal to's. Hello. So let's also check that print in hello. So if you see that it's just like, looks like some basic English. He in hello, which means that it's just gonna check this string is uh, in this string. Just like for example, we have he here. It's gonna check he is there or not in this string. So it's there. It's gonna return true. So there is just opposite of this. He not in this not can also be used in is also, like this. Not in. So you can see here I have used it not in, but here I have used is not. It's correct, but Python is going to give us a warning. Warning is like error, but a little in a lower level. Let me show you. You can see here we have a syntax warning, but even though we have warning, we have our outputs. It's because when we have error, the our program just shuts down. When we have a warning, Python can continue. This is the difference between warning and error. So that's it for this video, and let's see list, tuples and dictionaries in the next video. Till then, check out my other videos and don't forget to like and comment this video and subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching.